Everybody to this work group digital. So today is gonna be special because we're gonna merge the Shanghai work group and the Beijing work group. So we welcome today Huawei, Mr. Larry She, which is a Chief Engineer of Public Affairs and Communication Department. Jesse Pan, which is Director of Public Affairs and Communication. He also Alban Renault from Adamas, which is a coordinator of Beijing Work Group, and myself, Hugo Guadou, which am the coordinator of Shanghai Work Group.
So good afternoon, everyone.
And so today we're going to talk about 5G. So 5G is 5G is a huge new innovation in terms of network. So 1G was the voice, 2G was voice plus SMS, 3G was voice, SMS, and web mobile. 4G allow us to do voice on mobile, and now with 5G, so we're gonna have a high bandwidth, and we'll open a new application for mobile network with new cloud computing application, big data, IoT, and the more important, when we see what we are facing now with the coronavirus, we're gonna have healthcare also application. So now I'm gonna give the voice to Larry for the presentation.
Okay, my turn.
Hello.
Yes. Okay, fine. Yeah, I can hear. So thank you, everyone. I'm Larry from Huawei. So it's my pleasure to this afternoon to have the time to sharing with some 5G and AI technology of Huawei to all of you. So I will share the PPT now. Okay. Okay, so you can see the PPT now, everyone. All right. Yeah, all right. Start, right? Okay. So. Okay. So first, I want to have some summary about how Huawei responding in the coronavirus, the COVID-19. So as we know, this is a very bad situation now, and actually we in China we almost control the expansion of the virus, and in this that today Huawei are trying to become normal. We resume our work safely, and we are ensure to guarantee our employees' safety in the office or in our working field, and then we starting our work, starting our R&D job, starting our logistic job and supplying jobs. Okay, and second, we ensure our delivery to the customer. So you know, right now people all almost stay in the home for nearly 2 months. Okay, 2 months. So we need the communication. We need the telephone. We need the internet. We need the mobiles for the much more than the other time. So we need to ensure the internet, ensure the network during these 2 months, such as we connecting the hospital between the Beijing and the Wuhan city, and we connecting the different factory, the manufacturing for the mask, manufacturing for the medicine, and we're collecting with their informations. So this what we do to ensure the delivery to customer, to help our operators, our enterprise customers to do the jobs, and then we help fighting the pandemic, fighting the coronavirus. So first we help with some hospital for the AI technology to diagnose the medical image better or faster. And second, we guarantee the network is running in the new hospital. So, in Wuhan, we built some hospital in 7 days or 10 days, right? In 7 days or 10 days. So in this new area, new hospital, we need 5G network. So what do we do is in this, okay? So just summary about something for the new is now. And second page is our business in the last year. The latency, right? Latency, okay. So actually yesterday, we already launched our annual report for the 2019. As we know that last year is actually the most difficult year during my working time in Huawei. I'm working in Huawei almost 16 years. 16 years. So this is the most difficult years in my career of Huawei. But we are steady growth about 19% for last year, and our revenue is almost $123 billion in last year, and we have invested about $118 billion in our R&D. $18 billion in R&D. We are still keep huge R&D investment in our products, in our new solutions for this to keep our solution to be the best in the world. Okay. So as the situation and the reason every people know that in the year of 2020 will be more difficult for Huawei. We face the pressure from American, and we also face the new pressure from the coronavirus in the whole world. In the 1 month before, we think maybe it will be only affect the market in China, but after the 2 months, we say that it will affect all the market in the world. So it will be affected a lot in our business in this year. So this year will be more difficult. We just need to get ready for this. Okay, thank you. And back to today's topic. So first is I will say some trends for the intelligent world by 2025 is our research for the next 5 years, what will happen in the digital world. And secondly, the definition of the 5G and the AI and typical use cases. And third part, I will say how the 5G and the AI changed our life and business. And then it's the 5G landscape in China. Okay. Sorry. So for the next 5 years, so we think the world will be changed to intelligent world. So I think this trend is everyone believes it, right? Everyone agree on it. So the first thing we think is that all things will be sensing, and second, all things will be connected, and then all things will be intelligent. And this trend already happened now. Actually, you see that in China, when you use the mobile phone can understand what you say. Okay, it have the voice recognition or the language recognition. So when you talk about a different language, in different local language in China, in such a Beijing language or in some other language, Cantonese language or Shanghai language, okay, the mobile phone can recognize it. They know what they want to say. Okay, we already have this technology in the mobile phone. Every mobile phone have it already. And second is that we are working together with the robot more and more, working or living or entertainment with the robot more and more, such as in some factory we produce the delivery the medicine. So in Wuhan city, we have so many medicines since the delivery. If medicine appears, you have the medical equipment, medical objects such as mask, but we don't have so many human resources for it. We don't have enough people working on it. Because all the things come to Wuhan city, so people need help from robots. So the robots will scan everything. Because in every object we have the QR code or the barcode. So the robot can scan it, so they can know, okay, this package delivery to which hospital, this package to deliver to which building, and this package deliver to which road. They can know it. So the robots help the Wuhan city can deliver all the things in the 2.5 days. When maybe 2 weeks as a one round. So 2.5 days for delivery all dispatch all of them. Okay, and then with the 5G, the 5G will be covered more and more country. So right now, almost 60 countries already launched the 5G service in last year. I think in this year will be more than 100 countries will launch the 5G service. But 5G is not, how do you say, it's not something like a huge innovation. We can call it the new infrastructure. It's the infrastructure and basic infrastructure for other intelligent things, other intelligent technologies such as the VR, AR, AI technology, and some other Internet of Things, the car internet. So all these things were based on the 5G. 5G is a basic technology. It's not other thing. It's basic technology. But when you do this business, you need to run it on 5G. If you don't have 5G, you cannot do this. It's something like the railway, like the highway road, something like that in the intelligent world. Okay. And as I just said that more and more countries take the 5G and AI as the national digital strategy. So as we studied before, so when you increase 20% on your ICT field, the IT and the CT field, so maybe 100% of the GDP will grow. But this study is based on some Huawei Research Center and some other report already reported. So in future, we think the most important digital technology, first thing, 5G. Second is AI. The other will be more function expansion from this total technology. Okay. So what is 5G and what is AI? I will give some definition so you can more easily to understand. So 5G. So as just the one gentleman said that the 4G is the mobile with internet. You have the voice call, you have SMS, you have WhatsApp, you have the mobile internet. So in the 4G time, we call it the mobile internet time. So in 5G, what we call is the industry internet. So in 5G, not only connecting with the mobile phones, we're also connecting so many things or so many industries, such as the manufacturing industry, medical industry, education. And also we're connecting expansion, except the mobile phone, we were connecting the watch, motorbike, car, or even some other things, glasses, something like that. So we're not also connecting the manufacturing machines, connecting with them. So we call the 5G as the industry internet, not only the mobile internet. Okay. So based on this, we have three different between the 4G and the 5G. First is downloading speed. So in the 4G time, it's about 100 megabit. This is maximum, but normally it's about 20 to 30 megabits. But in the 5G time, the downloading speed, normally it's 1 gigabit, at least 1 gigabit. And the second is latency. In 4G time, the latency, that means when I call you, the latency between two of us is 10 microseconds. Actually, this is a very short time. People cannot feel it. So when you're talking with each other, 10 microseconds is not a time that you can detect it or analyze it. But when this 10 microseconds in the machine or in the car, it will be a long time. So the machine, when they cutting the things, or they can making some very, very classic things. So the 10 microseconds can move a lot when you're cutting or when you do some shaping on the material, or in the car. 10 microseconds, you can running about 10 to 15 meters, the long distance. So 10 microseconds is cannot be acceptable when you do the industry internet. So we need short. So in the 5G time, the latency time less than 1 microsecond is another standard. So the third one is the coverage. So before, in 1 square kilometers, we have mobile phone. Okay, normally it's about 10,000 people full in 1 square meters. Everyone have a mobile phone. So maximum you can connect in 10,000 mobile phones for 1 cell site in 4G time. But in the 5G time, when you have 1 base station here, you will have more and more machine or other things they want to connecting to this cell site to 5G network, because when you have a factory, so in 1 factory, 1 square meters, they have so many machines want connecting with each other, right? You want to connect it to the internet. So the quantity of the connectivities will be much higher. So we need to increase to 1 million. So 1 million things, I don't know what things, machine, watch, mobile phone, or everything, in 1 square meters for coverage. So these are 3 different from 4G to 5G type. So right now, what do we have? With 5G, the 3 phase. The first phase is EMBB. We call it enhanced mobile broadband. It's still mobile broadband. Okay, so it's only normally used for people. Use the mobile phone. This is the first phase. And second phase is the URLLC, also reliable low latency connection. It's for the industry, manufacturing, and car, for low latency. Okay, and the third phase, 3 years later, is MMTC, massive machine type communication. So that means different machine and different machine type can talk with each other, can communicate with each other. The watch can talk with the phone can talk with the manufacturing machine, and the car can talk with the car, something like that. So this is 3 phase for the 5G. So right now we only standardize for the first phase. So the second phase and third phase is this year and the next 2 years. We need to finish them for the next 2 phases. Okay. 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 We can take the mask, right? So everyone can hear me more clear, right? Okay. And then it's the AI. So people say the artificial intelligence is a miracle, right? So people don't understand it. So how the machine that if you how does it reading the watch the movie, we call it Matrix, about 10 years before, 20 years before the Matrix from the American. So it's a movie describe how the AI working. So the AI is actually there are 5 behaviors. The first behavior is wishing like a human. So they have the machine wishing. So they can recognize or they can read like a machine people. Okay, they can know the image. Okay, they can know the photo. Like the people see the photo, the machine like people. Okay. And second is listen like human. So people talk, the machine can understand it. Okay. And third is the natural language processing. That means we're talking like a human. So we're talking with the machine. They can understand it 1010, but the 1010 they will translate it to Chinese or translate it to French. That's the way we say it as talking like a human. And then it's the action like human. The action like human is very normal. It's robot. The robot, we have software on it, we have chipset on it. Okay, the robot is working like a human. Okay, and then it's learning like human. So learning like human is the machine can make a decision like human. And this is the most difficult step. Before they are just wishing, listen, talking, and the action. But they just follow the orders. They just follow the orders from human. But the last step is learning and make decision. And they are, in that time, they are just like human. They are not follow the orders from human. So in the first 4 steps, they follow orders. And the last step, they can make decision. They can learning. The learning means what? Means they can understand the things outside this program, outside the things. So the last step is like that. Okay. So AI actually is, we simplify it is that the first step is induction, call it machine learning. So induction means when you have so many data, maybe 10 million or 12 million or 20 million data, every data you put one tag on it. The tag could be age, could be color, could be size, or could be date. Every date you have some tag, maybe 1 tag, 2 tag, 3 tag, okay? And then you divide the different date with the tag by different class. So each class we have 1 data, a second class is just like an Excel. You put the Excel with full of data and then analyze it. So the first step we call induction. And secondly is the deduction. We call it the knowledge reasoning. That means when you have this data and when you tag with them and you find one formula to find the result or the date with the tag, how the connection with it. And then you use a mathematic formula to calculate all the data and make a result. So the second step is the making result, make a decision. So the first step is to classify all the data. And second step is to make a decision. Okay, so these two steps is to simplify the AI, how they do it and what they do. All right. And then is 5G for the economic. Actually, I just said that 5G is the basic infrastructure. I think if you notice the news of China now, so we have the new infrastructure construction in China in this year. So we invest about huge money on it, 200 billion RMB on it. So in this kind of new infrastructure, because we call it the road, airport, we call it old infrastructure. The new infrastructure is 5G, data center, internet, industrial internet, something like that. So in this part, 5G is base station, it's a basic infrastructure. So every year, when we see the GDP in China or in the world, so the mobile phones or the telecommunication take about 4.8%. And the investment on 5G will increase year by year. So we believe after 2 or 3 years, less than 5 years, it will be increased 5.3% of whole the GDP. Okay, so that's why we invest a lot on the 5G, basic. And the cost for 5G and 4G actually in China, people always question why we need a huge investment on 5G. We really need the 5G or not? Why the 5G is cost effective or not? Okay, first we see that the cells at average throughput, that means download speed. In 4G is about 20 to 50 megabits, so we could call it average is 40 megabits. But in 5G it's 1 gigabit speed, so that means 25 times. But for the power consumption, actually for one site, 5G is much bigger than 4G. But if you divide into the power consumption based on 1 gigabit, you will see that 5G is much lower. So when you're downloading 1 gigabit, when you 4G time and 5G time, you can only about 10% of the power cost. So that's when we think the 5G more cost effective based on average gigabit, right? And then how 5G and AI change our life in the business, all right? So I'll share some cases. And this is 5G, the cases in China. You don't need to read the Chinese or just see the photos. So what we do is mainly some part. The first part is that we do in the live broadcasting. You know, in China, live broadcasting is very popular. It's a very big business in China now. So I don't know if in France it's big business or not, but in China it's big. People want to, so many people want to see the other people, we call it the pop star or internet star. They shopping, they experience the products and they introduce to others. And they do their normal life and they do sporting or do other things. So the people want to see the pop star on the internet, what they do. So we call it live broadcasting. So this is a very huge business. This is the first thing. And second thing we do in the industry. So in the manufacturing and we in the miner or in some others, we connecting the machines with our 5G network so we can remote control it and we can remote investigate it or we can remote location it. So this is second thing. And third thing, what do we do is for the TV program or the radio program or some television. So we can do the 4K and 8K broadcasting to our customers. So we, every year in China we have the Spring Festival. Spring Festival we have a very big seminar, right? Very big seminar in the end of the last day in China. Okay, the end of the last day of the year in China. So every people sit here with your family to watch the TV. But before it's the 1K for the TV. So right now it becomes 4K and 8K. And we have different cities. In Beijing is the main room, and then we have in Wuhan, in Shenzhen, in others. So it's the 8K live broadcasting. And second thing, when we have some big meetings, In Chinese we have the political meetings every year, have in the March every year. So we broadcasting them. Okay. And third, what we do is in the car internet. So in China, we are trying to do the car internet a lot. So in the different department of the government, we do it. So we do the internet, and we do a trial from Beijing to Chengde, a north city in China. We have 200 kilometers. It's the car internet trial. So no people driving, only the car driving on it. No people, only the computer control it. So we do the trial right now. So we try to, to make it mature within 2 years. So maybe 2 years later, we will make it real, so everybody can use it. You don't need to drive, and only the car can run it. Okay. So the first case is live broadcasting for 5G. So the picture, so that before the 2018. So when you do the live broadcasting in some field, okay, and then this field, you go to you take a truck or take a car, you run it everywhere, you take the video, and you send it back to your TV station, right? But it will take a lot of cost, and then when you want to transparent it, you need the satellite to transparent it back, right? To transmit it back. But it will take about a long day and so many people to do it. But in last year, we invented 5G. So we still use this, but they take one 5G CPE. It's about 1 kilogram, and one people can hold in it, and another people take the video, take the camera. Okay, they can go anywhere they want. Okay, this is the second thing. And in the end of last year, we have a Wi-Fi, a mobile Wi-Fi, 5G. It's a small box, very small box, and you put a SIM card on it. When you go anywhere, they have the 5G signal. You can transfer the signal to your television station, to your office, and then we can save a lot of people. So you can see that in the first track, we need about 150 people on site to do it. But when we have that small box, 5 people can do it. And change a lot about live broadcasting. And second thing is the gaming. So in China or in the Northeast Asia, so many young men like to play the game. China, Korea, Japan, people like playing computing game or the electrical games. So the players want the best experience. So when you fighting with the others on the computer, right? So the latency is mostly the problem. So you're later with the others, your character is killed by the others, right? So the people request a very low latency. So the 5G can satisfy that. You see that the 5G latency is much smaller than 4G. So people do that. And second thing that the 5G downloading speed is very fast. Before, when you want to play some game, if the game is so big, you need to buy a new computer for it. So that new computer can run in all the data of this game, the new game. You need a very big engine, you need a very big storage or something like that. But right now, if the downloading speed is very huge, so you can do all this computing and running things on the cloud. So in your home, the terminal no need to very high classify the terminal. So you need some normal terminal, it's okay. Or the running and computing in the cloud. So the more people can enjoy the new game with it. So that's what we do. And then for the medical, it's the recent things we do. So the AI-powered diagnosis. So right now, that we have so many patient, they catch the coronavirus. So they need to scan the body. But when they have the image, the normal doctor to check it and confirm it take about less than 20 minutes, let's say 15 minutes to confirm it. But it still have some mistake because the human do it. You cannot guarantee every image and every photo you see it correct. So you still have problem. But we have some typical photos in the cloud, and then we uploading the patient image, go to the cloud and compare with the typical photo and to see, okay, what the difference between these two. if they have difference, okay, the AI technology can tell the doctor, okay, this photo have problem, you need to check. And the AI computing can give you a basic judgment, a basic result, okay, what's happened now. And then the doctor can give a final decision. So all this take about, normally it's about 2 or 3 minutes, finish this. So you save a lot of time. So in the normal time, okay, 15 minutes, whereas 2 or 3 minutes, no meaning, people can waiting. But in the Wuhan city right now, we need it because one day, your hospital, you have 1,000 patients, need to confirm. You cannot wait, right? You cannot wait. You need to do it as fast as you can. So right now we do this technology in so many hospitals in Wuhan to do it. Okay, so this is how they're running. So the first step is the patient take the photo of the medical image, and second, we upload it. Now when they upload it, the photo go to the cloud, the medical cloud, and then the AI computing can analyze it, and then the feedback premier result by AI, and then the doctor, in the resident doctor in the hospital and the remote doctor in some center, they can analyze together about this photo and okay to see the premier result is correct or not. And then after that, 2 doctors give 1 report together and send it out. This is how they're working. And we did do this, it's already in the 1 university in Wuhan and 1 university in the other city to do this, right? And second is how the 5G and AI used in the manufacturing field. And this one is the one photo to show the airplane manufacturing in China. It's in Shanghai already, actually in Shanghai. So, you know, in Shanghai we have the COMAC, is a China Merchant Airplane Corporation. So they build the Chinese airplane for that. So when they do it, so you know that every airplane, they need some cover, material cover on the outside. So a cover on the base. So when they go to the airplane, they can provide the high temperature, provide the water, provide some other things. But this material need to cover every place of this airplane. So when the people do it, they take about 10 minutes to scan it, to cover it, okay, to make it. But they take about 20 minutes or 30 minutes to check, to every place to check, okay, it's already covered or not. So it takes a long time for this. But when we have the 5G and AI technology, we put a high density camera on it. So when you cover and they take a photo, and then they take a photo and they send back the photo, go to the cloud. And the cloud will analyze with the typical photo to see, okay, this cover is already perfect or not. So if perfect, okay, pass. So when we do this, it's about 10 minutes for cover, less than 1 minute for checking. So the working efficiency is highly improved. So we're saving a lot of time for the manually checking. We use it as a camera checking with the AI technology and the 5G technology to do this. Okay. The last is some introduction of the 5G landscape in China. Okay, so we focus that the 5G will be covered about 10% of mobile users in China. So actually, from the last year until of the February of this year, in China, we already delivered about 30 million 5G mobile phones. 30 million 5G mobile phones in China already for last about 7 or 8 months already. So in last year, we delivered about 2,000 cities. So in last year, we covered about 40 cities, main cities in China. So in this year, we will cover about 300 more cities in China. And totally it's about 600,000 cell sites will be delivered in China this year. 600,000. So normally the main cities in China in the end of this year will be covered 340 cities. cover. So when you go in the end of this year, you travel to the other cities, if it's a normal city, so surely it will have 5G service already. Okay. So then we have some, the main operators is China Telecom, China Mobile, and China Unicom, 3 operators. So later we will have 4. The fourth one is the China Broadcasting, right? 广电怎么说？广播电视哦 ，China Broadcasting Television Company. They're the first one. They have 5G already. So they will deliver it. Okay. So my part is almost here. So let's go to the Q&A part, right?
We have the Q&A after.
Yes, sure,
we have
sure.
a second speaker, right?
We don't have a second speaker.
Yeah,
we have the Q&A now.
Thank you very much, Larry, for this interesting presentation. So now, we will move to the Q&A session. So maybe I will shoot the first question because it was very interesting. So I have the first question. So at the very beginning of the presentation, so you show the total sales revenue of Huawei, which was, I think, if I remember, 122.97 billion. So what is the percentage you take from the global turnover in investment for the 5G technology development?
So is that you're asking how much we invest on the 5G R&D, right?
Right.
So totally, actually, we R&D on 5G is almost 10 years already. So the total money we cost is about $4 billion US dollars. $4 billion US dollars, totally about 10 years.
In the past 10 years.
Yeah, $4 billion US dollars for R&D for 5G.
Okay, that's a lot. Yeah. Okay.
Did you hear my question clearly?
No, we're not here. Sorry. So can you repeat again?
Sure. My question was, we have known like 2G, 3G, and 4G, and now we are moving for the 5G, which for you has been a huge investment. How long do you think like the 5G network will last, and when do you estimate this network will be even replaced by a next network of 6G?
I think from 2019 to almost 10 years. So every generation of the mobile network normally will be working, or the life cycle is about 10 years. So actually we start in the 2008 for the 4G, and right now it's 2019, the 4G is becoming to 5G. So I think next 10 years will be 5G time.
Okay, so about 2030 we will be in the area of 5G.
Yes.
And I think we have some question online. I don't know, Larry, if you can see them, because we have. Can you see the question online that we have been asked, or do you want me to read them to you?
Yes. So the first question is, how can human being getting the robot with AI under control if robot has self-thinking in the future, right? This is a question, right? So actually, this is the main question right now. So many in the university and so many in the government is thinking about it. So the people want to use robot, and people also don't want to be controlled by robot. So we need to do some the logical principle when we're designing it. So they need to follow some orders, or they need to have some final bottom line, what they can do, what they cannot do to settle that. And I think right now in China or in some other government already have some department to study the making some law about AI technology, about AI, how we can work on it and how we can research on it. So it should be coming soon. All right. So next.
So the next question, what about comparison between 5G and other industrial internet access, like Swift 6, fiber for access network?
Okay, so right now, right, it's hot, right? It's for the 5G and Wi-Fi 6. So right now, I just say that these both two technologies is working actually in the internet field, especially in some campus. People prefer use Wi-Fi more than 5G, but we have two questions need to answer with every case. Is that first is how the technology that can be cost effective to be used. Okay, if we have some solution with 5G, it's already cost effective. Why you use the Wi-Fi 6? But I cannot say which one is better, but it depends on the cases. So in China right now, is also see that if the business is not so big, you may rent the 5G from the telecom operators, so you can use 5G. But if your business is so big, you have very big campus or you have very big industry park, you can choose 5G, or you can choose the Wi-Fi 6 by yourself. So it depends on the most cost-effective solutions. And this tool is it's the communication connection technology. It's not change the business. It still help the business. It cannot change your principle of your business. Okay.
Okay. So really depend on the application of we want to have. Okay, that's clear. We have a question also from Feiyu, which want to ask you about the comparison about the prospect in different countries, about the 5G prospect in different countries, like compare China and Europe.
So in China, actually, I don't know, it's a little bit different, right? So the Chinese people, they like on the internet, so they shopping on internet, right? They chatting on internet, and they have the video conference on internet. So I think the demand on 5G network is huge in China. So actually, in the end of the 2 years before, the 4G bandwidth is not enough in China. So we try to move faster on 5G. And second thing that in China, we have so many good 5G suppliers, such as Huawei, such as some other company. We supply equipment, we supply the mobile phone, and then later also in the 5G apps, we have so many companies supply it. But in Europe right now, I see some countries already start the 5G, but some countries not yet start 5G, right? So in France, it's already started 5G, but still based on the user demand or the market demand. Okay, the user demand means that your mobile phone user really need 5G, really need this huge bandwidth or not. And second, that is market demand. It means if you are operator such as your Orange, so you are some other operators, did your competitor offer 5G or not? If they offer already, you maybe need to follow. So we have two demand on this.
Okay, clear. Another question from Feiyu was, what is the difference, is there any difference between 5G in China, 5G in Japan, 5G in South Korea in terms of technology?
So actually the technology of 5G is nearly the same, because the 5G, we only have one standard in the ITU-T. So the 5G technology of these three countries, they use is the same. Also the bandwidth is also near the same. In China, in Korea, in Japan, we use the 3.5 to 3.8 gigahertz, the spectrum. So we are in the same spectrum. The difference is that in China we are only just start coverage. So in Japan and Korea, they are a little bit leading us. They are earlier than us. So right now in Korea already cover whole the country. In Japan, it's starting now, but in China we only cover 40 cities until now, and we will cover more 300 cities more, something like that. So the technology is actually the same because the ITOT only have one standard on it.
Okay.
Okay, I understand. Just one question. Compared to Europe, I believe it should also 5G with China and Europe should be also similar. Is it correct?
Yeah, that's it. Because the spectrum, almost all the country use 3.5 to 3.8 the gigahertz. So that's mean the same. Nearly the same.
Okay. So we have another question coming from Lei. How can AI plus 5G can help SME companies? And for example, in a consulting firm, is there any application in a consulting field?
Okay, so I think for the 5G and the AI, as I say that 5G is basic infrastructure, is not the way to change your business, but the AI maybe can. The AI most difference is that how AI understand your business, because every different industry have a different principle, how the business is running, how the business is working. So how you make your AI computing or your AI software to learn how your business is running. Okay, so such as for the consulting firm, actually I'm not so familiar with the consulting firm, right? But in the current time, I think you can do the online consulting with your customer with the 5G technology. So you can see the meeting with us like this, we use the video conference with each other. But I think this is a basic thing. The most important thing in different industry, how the AI understand your firm, such as I see in China, we have some company that produce the oil, they produce the petrol, okay? So they have the oil from different countries, the oil from American, the oil from Saudi Arabia, the oil from the Russia. But the oil inside, the percentage of the petrol is different. So the AI technology will computing and running on to calculate what kind of a percentage of different oil you can get the best petrol. So that means AI understanding how your business is running. So this is the most difficult things we need to think about that.
You. Another question, what role does Huawei 5G play in the construction of smart cities? I know Huawei has just set up a new department called Octopus, how to connect 5G, cloud, and smart cities.
What means Octopus? Yeah, Octopus, what do you mean? I don't know the Chinese name, right? How exactly? So for this question, I just say that the smart city is a very old solution, not very old, a solution with a long time. So about 10 years people to do that. So the smart cities, actually we have three or four kind of purpose. So some cities, they want to improve the public security. So they will use the camera, 5G, and computing to analyze the criminal things, to locating the criminal people. This is the first purpose, such as in some city in Pakistan or other cities, they have some terrorist attack or some others. They'll use this as the we can call it a safe city for the public security. And second thing is some industry city in China. We have many, such as Shenzhen. They use the smart city purpose, such as the connecting with the different factory to balance all the product line to produce the things. And second, they collecting all the logistic and all the supply chain to balance the components from the other city, from components from the supply to delivery to different factory. So this is normally we use in some industry city. If you have electrical or digital or some other industry, you can do it. And third thing is for the digital government, such as in Beijing city, the people use the digital technology, the camera and the digital assistant or digital guide or the traffic analyzer or something like that, the different technology to help the government to governance the city smarter or something like that. So the purpose of the city use the smart city solution is different. So the 5G will play a role, a very big role is that they are the digital basic infrastructure. They can make the data transfer faster. They can make the coverage bigger, and they can make the things more and more things of machines connecting to the network. So it's a basement. Okay.
Can I just add one point?
Yes.
Yeah. Last year actually, Huawei has launched the Smart City White Paper. During this paper, we have analyzed the 20 typical cities and 12 topics which they concern most. So if you're interested in the smart city solution, because smart city is a concept which quite broad, so it can many items can or solutions can under this umbrella. So I think it's very difficult for Larry to explain it within just a couple of sentences or minutes. So I think if you're interested in some specific scenarios or solutions, we can discuss later after this webinar.
Okay. So next one.
Yeah. So next question. As you mentioned earlier, 5G is part of the new infrastructure investment plan in China. So what will be the practical strategy to be involved with? Would you please share the strategy in Huawei besides the R&D investment? How about your business development plan?
Okay. So for this question, actually, the Chinese economic is huge, actually badly impacted by the coronavirus for the last 2 months. So we need to keep our economic or recovery, or we can call it become normal, right? So we need to save the 2 months we already lost, the time of 2 months we already lost. So we need some planning for it. So for the 5G part, it's one of the 7 of the new infrastructure planning in China. So I think the most important thing for us, also for the Chinese operators, is to finish the 5G construction of this year, the planning. Okay, so the planning of this year is 600,000 cell sites in the whole China country, the whole country. So we need to catch up the plan of the last 2 months. We already delay for a lot of cell site, not delivery, not the instruction, not the install. So the last 10 months, 10 of the months, so we can finish them. This is the first part. And second part is that the government will guiding the investment, guiding the investment to the new field of the new infrastructure. Before, okay, people want to invest on the road, invest on the highway, or invest on the airport. So right now they want to the investment, okay, from the government or from the private or from the individuals, the capital, the money, or the banks, they invest more on the new infrastructure, such as the 5G, such as industry internet, such as data center. So this is second plan. And for the strategy, okay, particular strategy. So right now, you can see in the website, the Chinese, the MIIT, the Ministry of Industry and the Information already have one plan for the 5G. They have on the website, and they have a list of projects. And later, I think that more and more Chinese ministry or department will launch or issue their planning on their website. You can see on it.
Okay. For me, I have one question, last question maybe. So we can see that there is a strong war for all the equipment and hardware for the 5G technology. So what are the main competitor of Huawei for the 5G?
Main competitor, you mean the business competitor, right?
Yeah, business competitor. I mean, like Cisco, like other.
So right now, there are 4 companies can provide the 5G solution end to end. Okay, Huawei, Ericsson, Nokia, ZTE, and Samsung. So we are the 4 players. So this you can say they are the competitors. Actually, we cannot call the competitor. We are the vendors.
Okay, clear. Thank you very much. So I think there is no more question. So I think it was super interesting. So we cover a wide range of topic about this 5G new technology. So thank you, Larry, Jesse, and Jacqueline from Huawei.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thanks
Nice time
also
with you.
the French Chamber to make it possible. Thanks, Walter, Alex, Inyan, and for sure, Caroline, to make it happen. And
and if there are still some questions, they can always be asked by email to the chamber, and the question will be forwarded directly to Huawei.
Yeah.
And thank you very much for everyone who attended this webinar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thank you, Ben. Bye-bye.